Tokyo Ghoul is now officially in Dead by Daylight, and it's time to go over every single Easter egg, reference, and secrets you may not have known. Almost every single add-on featured in the game has a reference to the anime itself. Starting off with the apron. This is what the ghouls and Kaneki wear when they're serving coffee at the cafe. Fresh coffee refers to the only thing that ghouls can actually tolerate that is of human consumption. For whatever reason, coffee is just their thing. Kaneki's wallet is simply just Kaneki's wallet, nothing too major about it. You can see some student IDs falling out of it. And if I remember correctly, this was actually stolen from him. Black Goat's Egg is something that we're introduced from the very beginning. This is a book that Kaneki is super duper fascinated by, and a person that turns him into a ghoul, which we'll talk about later, is actually super into this book as well. The blood-stained handkerchief is referred to a handkerchief that actually was stained by Kaneki's blood, and people got a little bit too obsessive with this one. Broken Chain has a multitude of different meanings, but the realistic one is when Kaneki was entrapped in a torture room and he managed to break free to fight Jason. It's also him going away from his human form and fully transforming into a ghoul, breaking free from that as well. Hide's headphones is simply just his headset that you see him wearing throughout the show. Kaneki's satchel, once again pretty simple. This is just a satchel that you see that Kaneki uses when he's attending university. Taki is a dish where you see another ghoul actually pretending to eat in order to blend in with humans. So this one's a direct reference to that. And by the way, I'm purposely avoiding people's names because I know I'm going to butcher them, so that's why. Amon's necktie is a necktie that obviously belongs to Amon. He is an investigator that is looking into ghouls. A Ogiri tree robe refers to the organization of ghouls that actively wear these, and you quite actively see them combating the CCG. Name's umbrella refers to the ghoul that you see carrying it around. She is a younger ghoul that everyone takes under their wing. Mado's glove is referring to the ghoul investigator named Mado, and honestly, he is one of my favorite characters in the show. Glasses refers to Rize. This is her glasses. And in case you didn't know, the first episode is essentially the person who turned Kaneki into a ghoul. CCG ID card is simply an ID card for the investigators that are trying to combat the ghouls. Red Spider Lily refers and symbolizes to death, transformation, and the death of innocence, particularly in this case. In case you haven't seen Tokyo Ghoul, slight spoilers ahead. Essentially, throughout the series, Kaneki is battling between his human and his ghoul side. Essentially, he was captured by Jason, a character that you will see us talk about later on as well, and he has this internal kind of breakdown. During this time, we see all of these lilies essentially turn into red spider lilies, symbolizing his transformation. Red-headed centipede refers to when Kaneki was in the torture room, and essentially this was used to crawl in his air as a form of torture. Torture apparatus. This was a device used to essentially torture a lot of different ghouls, including Kaneki, and it was pretty gruesome because it basically cuts your fingers and your toes. Finally, we have the two iridescent add-ons. The first one is the iridescent eye patch. This is typically used by Kaneki. In the show, Kaneki is a special kind of ghoul because he is half ghoul, half human, and essentially, he only has one eye that turns into a ghoul. So he uses his eye patch from time to time to hide his identity. And finally, we have the Mori's mask. This mask obviously is a big reference to Friday the 13th, and that's why this character is also known as Jason, and a lot of people talk about him. Not to mention, he also comes from the 13th ward, if I remember correctly, so it all kind of works out. So Mori is basically Jason, and this is the mask that he uses to torture the ghouls. There are a ton of unique and awesome skins coming with this collaboration as well, and we're going to go over every single one and what they refer to. First of all, we have the rabbit costume. This one is going to be for Yui, and essentially the rabbit costume used by Toka in the series, and essentially whenever she wants to hide her identity, this is the mask that she's using. This is super duper cool. Next, we have a skin for Renato that is Hide, and essentially, as we spoke about before, this is Kaneki's best friend when he was a human, so it's really awesome to see him making a return in some way, shape, or form. Ito is coming up next, and that is for Nia, which is super interesting that I chose Nia for this one. As you can see, Ito's entire body is pretty much wrapped up with bandages, almost like a mummy in a way. Slight spoilers ahead, but Ito is a powerful one-eyed ghoul as well, also known as the one-eyed owl. They're also the leader of the Agori Tree, the ghoul organization that I told you about that fights against the CCG. We also have the Awakened Ghoul outfit that is going to be coming for Kaneki, and essentially what this outfit is, once Kaneki was tortured enough, we can actually see a big transformation that happens with him where he fully embraces his ghoul self. And this is essentially the Awakened Ghoul. Next, we have a skin, or a mask, I should say, for the Unknown. This is a reference to Noro, ghoul and a close friend of Yoshimura, and he also served as Ito's foster father. For Jonah, we have probably one of the coolest masks in the game for Yoshimura himself, or the non-killing owl. In case you didn't know, this is probably one of the most powerful ghouls, a triple S rated ghoul. And you've probably seen him take Kaneki under his wing in the first couple of episodes because he runs the cafe. Next on the list, we have one for Jake, which is Ayato, aka Toka's brother. He's also known as the Black Rabbit, being the younger brother who initially joins the tree organization, but later on things change. Finally, we have a red mask for David King, which is a reference to Tatara, and this is a pretty big antagonist in the franchise himself. He's a ghoul who also serves second in command at the Arigari Tree. Now, Tatara is a pretty badass ghoul. He is one of the leaders of the Agori Tree, and he is pretty trusted, working under the One-Eyed Owl. If you're looking at the lobby and you're wondering why there's a big checkered board room all around, this is the torture room that we've spoken about where Kaneki was captured by Jason and was tortured forever. So this is really iconic that it's coming into the show, and it has a pretty dark past to it, but very fitting for a lobby. One-Eyed Terror is the name of the power that Kaneki has, and this is referring to the fact that Kaneki has one eye that is a ghoul. As mentioned before, Kaneki is half ghoul and half human, therefore the power being named One-Eyed Terror makes a lot of sense. In the show itself, one-eyed ghouls, or natural half ghouls, are considered way more superior to regular ghouls. This can sometimes allow them to eat human food, experience heightened abilities, and even get stronger very quickly. Based upon the lore, we actually know exactly what kind of ghoul we're getting with Kaneki. Essentially, the ghoul that we're getting here is right after he was tortured by Jason. In the show, after he was tortured by Jason, he transforms and he just kind of walks about, and then that leads into the next season. Essentially, Dead by Daylight is saying that after all of this and he starts walking about, he then enters the realm of the fog. Here, we get a twisted different type of version where probably the entity twists him in a way where it's like, hey, really embrace your ghoul side. There's nothing to hold back while you're here, and that's exactly what we're seeing. It's a very interesting choice, and the developers actually mentioned that the creators of Tokyo Ghoul were 100% happy with this, and this is essentially the version of the lore that we got, so it's super duper exciting to hear and see that. Speaking about some of the OG stuff, what's super duper cool is that the OG voice actor for Kaneki and for the new skin for Rize, they're actually the voice actors that we have for the characters in game as well. That is super duper cool. It's so awesome that they worked directly with Dead by Daylight to make this happen, making this collaboration even more special and even extra special for those Tokyo Ghoul fans. On the topic of voice lines, here are all the unique and awesome voice lines for the ghoul.
お名前聞いてもいいですか？この世のすべての不利益は当人の能力不足。なんでかな。まずいな。次は僕の番。僕はグールだ。
I made a video earlier today talking about Rize and the skin, going over it fully in depth, but in case you haven't seen it just yet, here's a quick look at the Rize skin. Again, this is the ghoul that transformed Kaneki into the ghoul himself, making him a hybrid, so it is really cool. On top of that, there are some interesting and unique voice lines. Again, a full dedicated video to this I posted a little bit earlier, but in case you haven't seen it, there are a couple of my favorite voice lines.
したことはないけど、私食事の邪魔されるのって大嫌いなのよね。私読書より好きなことがあるの。
You'll notice as you're going throughout your trial or even in the lobby, Kaneki, or the ghoul, is constantly cracking his finger, and you're probably wondering, why is he doing this? Now, this is a character trait that was picked up originally by Jason because in his backstory, he was actually tortured by someone, and the person that tortured him constantly cracked their finger. Eventually, when Jason broke out and got freedom, he picked up this habit and then continued to torture ghouls while doing the same exact thing. While Kaneki got tortured by Jason, that trait essentially passed on to him. So whenever he cracks his finger, he's pretty much going crazy. So essentially, subconsciously, he just picked up this habit, and that's why you constantly see it. You might notice from time to time, Kaneki gets enraged, or even in his Mori, when he first tastes blood, you can see him going a little bit crazy. This is because in the show and the anime, Kaneki is always struggling between his human side and his ghoul side. The primal instincts eventually do take over whenever there is blood on the line because it's the only way that he can survive. So anytime he does get a taste of blood, he becomes pretty crazy, and sometimes it's hard to control those urges. Kaneki comes with 3 unique perks, and all 3 of these perks have unique flavor texts that are direct references from things that he says throughout the anime. Here's what they all refer to. Forever entwined, he says, "You tried to devour me, so you have no room to complain if I eat you, do you?" I'm pretty sure this refers to when he was captured by Jason, and essentially Jason was trying to kill him. And this is what he said when he fully incorporated the ghoul mode into him. All of the liabilities of this world are due to the inadequacies of the person involved. Now, this is something that Kaneki actually says in the anime itself, and it's one of those quotes that people really like and say it's their favorite quote of all time. But he also says this in a voice line, which is really cool. From the perk, None Are Free, Kaneki says, "I'm not wrong. What's wrong is this messed up world." Essentially, this is the line that he says right before he transforms into the ghoul himself, and he realizes that exactly what he's saying. It's not him that's doing the wrong thing, the world itself is pretty messed up. When Kaneki is doing his Mori, there is one unique voice line that he says, and it's basically, "What is 1000 minus 7? To someone that hasn't seen the anime, you probably are super confused why something like this is said. Essentially, this is once again a trait that is passed down to Kaneki that he received from Jason, who received from the person before him that also tortured him. Essentially, Jason uses as a method to force Kaneki to count down from 1000 by 7. This is basically to keep Kaneki's mind focused, make sure that he doesn't lose consciousness from the pain or pass out or go insane, and essentially by doing this, he was able to rinse and repeat torturing Kaneki over and over and over again. Something that's really awesome to me that I just had to toss in there is whenever you read the Skull Merchant lore, you know that she's a big fan of anime, so for her to see someone like Kaneki coming into the fog must be super surreal, and it's canon, right? So it's super cool. One cool attention to detail that I do want to point out is that his power itself has quite a lot of pictures that you'll see for the power icon. I'm gonna go through them and tell you exactly what they all are. The first one that you're seeing here is essentially when Kaneki is ready to leap and he is not enraged. Then, of course, you have him when he's leaping, and again, he's not enraged. Next, you have him when he's not leaping, but he is enraged. This is essentially when you just received some blood and you're ready to pounce once again. Then you have the leap itself when you are ready to leap and you are enraged. Finally, you have the button where you cancel the power itself, and I think it's really cool all the attention to detail that the devs have put into this chapter, so I just had to point that one out. But there you go, those are some fun little Easter egg secrets and references for the new chapter Tokyo Ghoul. You can get your hands on this chapter right now. I'm also going to be live on Twitch today, and then I will be gone for quite a while. I won't be back until the 14th, but when I'm back, I'll be giving away some more DLC codes, so make sure you guys are tuning into Twitch today, and then on the 14th where I'll stream more actively. Don't forget, I have tons of content planned because I recently went to BHVR, I interviewed the devs, they answered community questions and content creator questions, they played a game of Guess Who, and I did an Hot Ones interview with Matthew Cote. It should be fun, and I'm really looking forward to sharing all of that content as well as all the other secrets that I've learned, so make sure you're coming out to the streams and checking out those videos. please consider subscribing down below. It does help out the channel quite a lot. This video was super fun to make. It's a little bit different from some of the content I normally make, but I really wanted to make this one, so I hope you guys did enjoy. It took a lot of time, so leaving a like or subscribing will be greatly appreciated. That's gonna do it for me. As always, I'm the King. I tip my crown to you guys, and we'll see you in the fog.